What's up? This is Paper Diamond, and you're watching Curated Music.
Tell us about your festival circuit experiences and expectations for 2012.
My festival circuit experiences from the past. The Paper Diamond project is kind of new to me. I've been a touring musician since I was 19. I dropped out of college to pursue a life in art and music, and I've been doing that ever since. I'm 28 now. I started the Paper Diamond project a little bit before, not this New Year's, but the previous. And my first four shows were like opening up for Bass Nectar and things of that nature on New Year's Eve in Atlanta. But I had been planning it for a few months, so I would say I've had a vast array of festival experiences, be it through a band Pnuma that I used to play with live instruments, through playing Alex B, which is more down-tempo stuff, through Paper Diamond. I've done festivals in Japan and Australia and all kinds of different stuff with various projects. With Paper Diamond, it's been awesome because, a lot of the music is dance music, and it's, whether it be soulful samples or keyboards or synth parts that I write, or orchestral parts that I write, or lyrics that I sing to somebody, it's a little bit more hype than my previous projects. So it's been really fun as of late to do festivals. And so leading into this year, I know we have a bunch. I'm trying to think. Most of them aren't announced yet, so it's hard to really determine. I know we're announced on Wakarusa. I think they just announced Starscape. I think that I know I'm on Ultra. I'm on a whole bunch. Yeah. I'm actually throwing a festival as well in Colorado. Yeah. Well, yeah, the Tiger Style Tour is my tour coming up, and basically I'm working with all these amazing designers and artists, and so I have all these cool, like, I don't know if you've seen, you can put the imagery of the Tiger Style stuff up on there. I could show it to you, but it's just, it's cool to be able to incorporate all this really dope artwork in what I'm doing and create the tour. But at the end of the tour, back in my next play in Colorado, we really wanted to do something big. So we got the Broomfield Event Center, which holds about 8,500 people. And my company, I have a design firm and record label and clothing line called Elm and Oak. And that's located in Boulder, Colorado. And Elm and Oak actually means exclusive limited merchandise and one of a kinds. But so Elm and Oak and AEG, we teamed up to like make my next play there really special, and we booked we're calling it Levitate, which is obviously the name of my first record on Pretty Lights Music. But it's 420, so 10,000 people come to Boulder to smoke weed. I definitely participate, and we wanted to make it more than just that. And so last year we did something with some of the Pretty Lights Music people, and we called it Levitate Fest. But this year we're doing it real big, and we got Rusco and we got DJ Shadow. And Shadow's bringing his Shadow Sphere, which if you look at that, it's pretty crazy. And I'm going to be playing, and Picture Plane is playing, but it's cool because we really got to, my company did all the artwork. We got to really decide who's going to be on it. We're planning for future years. It's just, it's really exciting for me, always being a musician, to now be able to like throw my own festival. It's dream come true shit.
You're really good at answering these questions, covering all these other questions. I actually wanted to go back into talking about like touring as Pnuma Trio, and then to Alex B, and then to Paper Diamond. What's the story of the transformation?
Well, excuse me. Yeah, like I said, I dropped out of college when I was, I had like one semester left or something stupid like that, but I was going to get a music degree. So I met those two guys. We were all living in different places, and we started a band. And so with that band at the time, like, there weren't many people doing live band, electronic music. So we were kind of, especially in the South, like around Memphis, Tennessee, which is where we were living, there was nothing like that. So, we were kind of like trying to pioneer some things, and that was always what was fresh in our minds. And, those guys are still real good friends of mine, but musically we kind of went in different directions. They were kind of like going on some down-tempo-y pop type stuff when I was really ready to get, like, I was making dance music with Pnuma, and I started doing stuff as Alex B, which was like my down-tempo, almost like my music that I just made for myself. And Flying Lotus expressed some interest in it, and he asked me to put out a mix for his label, which in turn led me to put out music as Alex B, which is down-tempo stuff. But then when we stopped doing as many Pnuma shows, I still had this want to make all kinds of music. So even to me, like, making songs for Paper Diamond is like what Pnuma would be playing. Like, the music is still that I'm writing right now, like it can and will be played with a live band. Like I intend on doing a lot of the shit that I'm doing with a full band at some point. But right now I just, you know, and there's talks of more Pnuma shows, and they've been asking me to do that stuff. But right now, it's hard for me to take 2 weeks to go back and learn old songs on a bass when I want to be focusing on creating what's new and fresh for me. And so, I love all of it, and it's been great. And so right now I finished my new record. It's called Paragon. I've been flying all over and working in studios. I was just down in the studio with Manny Fresh in New Orleans, who I don't know if you guys listen to much of that stuff, but he's real dope, and he got real excited when he came in and like started rapping on my stuff, and his manager was like, he doesn't do that. And so I've been working with singers, and with the process I'm doing now, it's cool because I have all these ideas in my head, so I'm singing lyrics that I'm writing and singing the melodies to these singers. So I can't stand the sound of my voice on recording, but I can sing my ideas and tell other singers what to do, and it's like a direct projection of my ideas from my head. So a lot of the stuff from the record, there's a lot of vocals on it and lyrics and even just sparse different points, but there's some songs, and I'm getting to work with great artists like band Cherub that I actually managed and is on Elm and Oak. And so yeah, lots of different collaborations and really focusing on the record is done now, and I'm going to start figuring out how and when we're putting it out and moving forward.
What's the deciding factor in choosing a track?
It just has to be something that I feel attached to in some way. Like when I heard the Kanye record and Pitchfork gave it a 10, which is just like, how often does that happen? It made me think like, wow, this is going to be crazy. Like people are going to be talking about this record. And then I listened to the record and everyone's picking like the heavy banger tracks. But to me, Power was always the one that stood out. And so for me, I internalized the music initially, like with Wildfire, a remix that I did. I love Little Dragon, the band, and I love like the singer Yukimi. And so I just, until I work with her professionally, which hopefully is going to happen at some point, I fell in love with that song. So I felt like it was a good piece. Like basically I find all these things that I love the music, and then I want to be able to, I wish I could play it live in my set, so I flip it and change it until I can play it in my set, and I make it enjoyable for like what I'm doing. So it's like taking my inspiration and making it my own, putting my own flavor on it. I write my own melodies. Like with the new remix I did of The Weeknd, it was cool because he sings on a part of it, and I was playing keyboard, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna mimic that line that he's singing on keyboard, and I nailed it first try. I was like, just in my ear, like I can sing the notes that I want and play them at the same time. So it's it was like that song like had my taste, had my twist on it because The Weeknd is so mellow and it's pretty slow music. It's kind of like, lots of different people love The Weeknd. But again, it was like the sound of it hit me in some way where I was like, I have to play this live. How can I turn it into and put my spin on it?
Can you tell me about Pretty Lights Music record as a record label?
Yeah, I mean, Pretty Lights Music as a record label is something that is basically a group of friends and people that support each other through music. Like Derek, who is Pretty Lights, he really helped a lot of people and paved the way so that, with giving out your music for free, he was pretty much, everyone was selling their records at that time, and he really gave away some pretty dope music for free, and it changed a lot of things for him and for other people. And now there's artists like Michael Menard and Paul Basic and Grammatic and Break Science, and it's interesting because like Break Science has Adam Deitch in it, who's in my eyes a legendary drummer. He's been playing with people since we were young, and since I was young, and I always looked up to him. So it's cool to be like around him. He's making beats for like 50 Cent, Talib Kweli, and all this crazy shit. So it's really dope. And Michael Menard and Paul Basic and Supervision. It's just really cool to have people that really care about music and aren't doing it for ill intention. And they put a lot of there's a lot of motivation behind the music that they're making. They're trying to create lives through art and music, and I support anyone that does that. So it's basically, those dudes are just my homies, and it's the same thing with Elm and Oak. It's just different circles of musical people that support each other and want to help and like give each other tricks and ideas and talk about things and make tracks together and plan tours together. And that's pretty much what it is now, is like you go on tour with the people that you want to hang out with and that musically you enjoy being around in every way, and those are the people you stick with. So it's like Elm and Oak Records, Pretty Lights Music, Big Gigantic, whatever, like we're all just friends.
So to flip out to meet you, who have you met in the
has left me starstruck. Well, it's changed. I mean, I was a fan. I mean, I grew up playing music since I was 4 years old, and I went to college for music. I went to high school. I stopped going senior year in high school to go to studio school for half the day. I was in bands my whole life. So like there's different people my whole life that have been inspiring me, like, you know, different bass players when I was focusing on bass, like Oteil Burbridge or Mike Gordon or Charles Mingus or any kind of jazz dudes. And then when, you know, I still love hip hop and beats and everything like that. So, you know, I got to hang out with Madlib a couple times, which is real cool, and play with him when I was into that type stuff. You know, obviously getting to play with people that I consider my friends, like Lauren and, you know, and the first, I don't know, it's different for me because I see these people as musicians and artists, and they're not dissimilar from you or I. They are put themselves out there in a way that they're able to, their art represents them as well. So it's, I'm trying to think as far as being starstruck, probably, yeah, when I met Yukimi from Little Dragon at North Coast Festival, I was definitely like, I love you. But yeah. Yeah. See, that's another one. She's just, Anasia is like my homie. Like, she's like, to me, we say, people, Anasia is like one of the dudes to me, not to sound weird, but like people say pretty crass things around her, and like, you know, it's kind of like loose tongue, and Anna can definitely hang with everybody. So Anna, she, you know, all that.
I think that's great. Some general questions. How do you feel the role of social media has played in Paragon?
Yeah, I certainly pay attention to changing things in social media. I mean, I think you have to, but more than that, for me, it's with a company that I have with Elm & Oak, like, we manage artists, we put out records, we have a blog, we have a store. So it's like I have 2 managers that work under me, and then I have 10 interns, and, you know, so those kind of things I'm thinking about all the time, and I've really learned to delegate. So right now, like, I have my managers, my agents, and all my people, so I'm able to focus on art and music and making all that stuff happen, but then also overseeing the music and careers of these younger artists and really trying to help cultivate something special. And I feel like with Elm & Oak Records, we have something eclectic, where we have Cherub, who sounds like MGMT meets Prince in the body of 2 white boys, and then we got Too Fresh, who's going out on tour with Skrillex for 40 shows and doing all this crazy stuff. And there's some crazy stuff coming up with them. They just landed a couple beats on a really dope project. And their new record's almost done. They've got a new song coming out on an Owsla comp. I don't know if that's released yet. Skrillex's label, actually. And so, you know, it's cool to be able to work with all these different people and really, you know, change the way that the music stuff is. I mean, if you think about like Big Gigantic and it's whatever, like, Dominic didn't know how to make music on the computer, and then we linked up, and he came over to my house every day for like a year, and I showed him how to make music on the computer. And obviously he's an amazing like musician, music school grad, but with him and with Too Fresh, they just came and I just taught him a shitload about mixing. And like, for me, it's about helping everybody and trying to make everybody just sound better, and that these people are like, you know, my crew. I'm not sure. I expected it. You know, I've always thought electronic music is going to be huge, and now it is and still getting bigger. So I don't really know. You know, it's dope. It's fun. It's good. It's well deserved. I mean, people who are making the dopest recordings right now are the people that, you know, and then can represent it live, are the people that are selling tickets, which is pretty much the deal. If you're making dope records and your show is on point, then, and you've got, you know, like in the case of Big Gigantic, they built a next level rig, and so it's not a surprise, and I'm excited to see where people take it next.
What does the future of Paragon look like?
My immediate future is I'm going to figure out what exactly the details are with this new record. I'm really excited to put that out. We have a bunch of new videos. We're definitely planning on making the rig starting at summer festivals next year really crazy. We're working with all these illustrators and videographers that are making our content for every single song and every single piece. And since I control my show wirelessly via an iPad layout that I created, and so I'm constantly changing things, and when I'm up on stage, it's all improvised. So I have to have something that's intuitive enough to where like the video is going to match up with all the music and create this other thing. So we're working with all these video designers. We're going to be at a ton of festivals this year. We got Tiger Style Tour coming up. We got we're already planning for September. Like there's just a lot of stuff going on, and with Elm and Oak, there's going to be new music all the time. And yeah, I guess Paper Diamond, you're just going to see a lot of new music, new remixes. I'm working on music every day, and I'm flying all over, and I'm getting studios and working with artists in different areas. So you're going to see a lot of collaborations. And I have some plans to like rent some studios in different cities like New York and LA, and I'm going to go back to New Orleans and all these places and really work with different people and take different like cultures even, and start to make all kinds of different music. Like I don't want to make just one sort of thing. I'm still making hip hop. I'm still making all kinds of shit. I'm making music for film, I'm making music for all kinds of things. And right now I'm putting out the Paper Diamond stuff as the dance records because that's what I want. But there's not to say that I won't put out something completely different next time.
What's the best feeling about playing live?
The interaction with the crowd, and just the best thing about playing live for me is interacting with the crowd and being able to see people's reactions to the music that I've worked so hard on, and to create like the music that I make is made to invoke an emotion, and it's supposed to be a conversation. In music school they teach you that music is a conversation, and each individual aspect of that, each instrument has its own voice, so you have to have breath and space in between. And so my music, I think, says something whether it does or does not have words.
Last question, is there a message that Paper Diamond is trying to spread? If so, what is it?
I'm trying to spread the message of inspiration and happiness through music, and togetherness, and creating something that you can, like I said, it's my voice, so it's my emotions put out onto music. And so every single thing means something different. Songs are about having fun. Songs are about things that are going on in my life. Songs are about what kind of stuff I'm inspired by. It's basically like Paragon means a perfect embodiment of a concept, which I don't think that my music is perfect by any means, because nothing is perfect. But since Levitate, I've probably made about 150 songs, and I went back and I picked my favorite 8 out of all of them, and then really refined those. And so for me, Paragon, my new record, is the perfect, like it's the epitome of what I've been doing since my last record, and it's a great representation of all kinds of different genres. There's going to be some moombahton, there's some dubstep, there's some beats, there's all kinds of different stuff. So I think that most excited for Paragon to come out because it's a direct representation of the last year of my life.